Hello, folks, and this is gonna be another video, but this is gonna be not talking about bipolar disorder or depression or a little bit about myself. This is gonna be talking about asking for help and seeking help and some of my issues that I have with it and just a general message. Now, I got this idea from actually later today. Today I watched X-Men: Days of Futures Past again, not in the theaters. Let's just put it this way: I managed to watch it again without paying for it. X-Men: Days of Futures Past, and there was a scene where young Xavier talks with his old Charles Xavier in the future, and that's just that whole scene at the end. He just goes at the end, and toward the end of it, old Charles Xavier pretty much said, well, actually, it was in the middle. He says, "We all need a little help sometimes," and that just got me to thinking and just evaluating some stuff for myself, and I was just like, something, he's right. And I thought this would make a good topic for the video. With me, I find it very difficult to seek out help and reach out to people. I mean, that's why it took so freaking long for me to go see a counselor. Because, and some people are different. Some people can seek out help like that. Some people, like myself, have a hard time doing it and asking and reaching out. Because honestly, folks, I should have sought and seeked out help when I was in high school. I mean, I should have first got it there, and I regret that I didn't seek out help when I was in high school, because I'm pretty sure maybe it might have made I'm not 100% sure, but it might have made a huge difference with the rest of high school and college and my undergrad, But at the same time, I don't, I have some regrets, but it's the past and made me who I am today. And it was very difficult when I went to seek out help for the first time, but I just was at a point around the Christmas holiday where I knew that I couldn't keep going on the way I was going, and that's when I decided to seek help. It was very, very difficult, folks. When I made that decision, it took like at least a week for me to get up the nerve to call the employee assistant program at my job. It took like a week, and I was very nervous because I was very nervous, and it's just not easy for me to ask for help. It isn't. And I was growing up, when you had the father that I had, which is you don't ask him for anything because he's always going to say no. You don't ask him for help because he's not going to help you. He's going to be really unreliable, and again, he was physically and verbally abusive a lot for very little reason. When you have that kind of father, you kind of learn not to ask for things and to try to handle things on your own. And my mom would try to do her best, but 5 children, essentially doing all the parenting herself, not not going to be a whole lot of time there. But so that's why I think that's maybe where it stems from, me asking for the difficulty. And not only that, but the fact is that I've always been a little more independent, that I never really ever asked for help. When there was a problem, I always tried to solve it myself, I always tried to solve it myself, and I did always solve it myself. I never needed help with homework or anything. I think that's another reason, that I really have a struggle with reaching out and asking for help. I mean, I really do. I mean, just like earlier in the day, I mean, I was having one of those really bad bipolar days where, I just got up and it's just, no, it's not happening today. And it was really, really bad. Like I was starting to get those, I felt like crying. I was starting to get those thoughts of, cutting myself and myself again, or, scratching myself and self-harming, and what I should have did was I should have reached out for help. I should have called someone in my personal life, my sister, my little brother, maybe someone in a comic community on Twitter. Maybe I should have PM someone on Twitter or something who maybe could have talked to me a little bit. But see, that's the thing. I find it very difficult to do that. That's what I should have did. I didn't, though. But I managed to get through it. I played video games, edited, just immersed myself in the listening ways, editing another video, and later on in the day, I kind of just I finally got better and didn't, and I got out of it. It was a tough about, it was a tough day, but around 5 o'clock I felt better, and I didn't have those urges, and I feel better now. It's just the way it works sometimes. But like I said, I probably should have reached out for help, should have texted someone, should have called someone, Twittered messaged someone on, the Twitter and the comic book community, people in there that may have some stuff like that or can relate, but I didn't. And that goes back to saying that I have a lot of trouble asking for help. I just do. I have so much trouble reaching out, And I guess another big reason, another reason is I think that people aren't going to be willing to help me, aren't going to be willing to listen or want to help me. Because, like I said, when you have the father that I had and the answer was always no, you assume that it's always going to be no with everyone and you're pretty much on your own. That's the way I kind of always assume now, and it's going to take time for that thinking to get through, but that's, there's other reasons too, but that's a big reason why, I find it difficult to write that message to say, I'm going through a bad time, you want to talk, I need to talk to them, you want to do something. I find it very difficult to tell people that. I mean, it really is. I mean, and I'm amazed. And it's not just that. Even talking about my day, like if I'm having a rough day, I missed the bus. I have trouble even telling that to people, telling people about my day. I just have trouble telling people things in general. But my sister can do it. Like talk, everything. My brothers can do it. I can't. I just have trouble, and especially help. And I used to think back in the day. I used to think that asking for help was a sign of weakness. I really did. I used to think that it was a sign of weakness, and now I kind of realize that it's not a sign of weakness, actually. It's a sign of strength, because just, make yourself vulnerable. Make yourself, admit your weakness, admit that you're doing bad, and make yourself vulnerable to someone else, and say, I need some help, and, I'm having a rough day, or just to make yourself vulnerable. It takes quite a bit of strength to do that, quite a bit of, inner strength just to do that, to put yourself out there. And I'm realizing that's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength to ask for help. It really is. To make yourself that vulnerable. Because, the only other thing that's more vulnerable than that is crying, that's all your defense mechanisms are just down. But, it's a sign of strength, and in the future, I need to really work on that. I need to work on reaching out to people, because cutting myself is not the answer. Oh God, I almost relapsed so hard today. It's like, oh my God, I almost relapsed. And thank God I'm still 6 months clean of that. Half a year, wow. But, that's just a video that I want to get out there. I don't know if maybe you can leave a comment or just talk, if you have a difficulty asking for help, or if you don't have difficulty asking for help, and maybe why and why not. I think that would maybe be helpful just to kind of get a little discussion with that. But also, I just kind of want to leave a message to people that may be struggling or something. Don't be afraid to ask for help. If that person doesn't, just completely give you the cold shoulder, then that person is probably a dick, a selfish dickwad, and you probably are better off not associating with them. Just to give you like that really nasty cold shoulder. But if they are busy or something, and they have other stuff going on in life, then just keep that in mind. But if they just completely give you the cold shoulder, not doing anything, they're dickwads. So if you're struggling with something, don't be afraid to ask for help. Reach out to people, call them, even if I'm trying to do that now. I am going to try doing that now. And just remember this, and this is from X-Men Days of Futures Past, what Charles Xavier said. Just remember this. We all need a little help sometimes. I have never met anyone who has never needed help at least at one time or another. We all need a little help sometimes. Thank you for watching this video.